Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Global MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Flayo and Dee Woodson. We are possibly awaiting the entrance of Michael Bullock. If he shows up, great. If he doesn't, that's all right too. We got a lot to do tonight, guys. We have SmackDown recap. On top of it, the preview. Tonight is the night from the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. Wrestle Kingdom 14 is today. It goes down in just a few short hours, guys. They are setting up the stage right now. So the stage is being set. The show is going to go down in a few hours. And guys, it is going to be one of the biggest wrestling nights in wrestling today. If you can stay up, if you're taking a power nap, I understand, because the show doesn't jump off till 2 in the morning. You heard me right. 2 a.m. up here in the Northeast in Rhode Island. And for Dee, I believe it's 1 a.m. I believe. But whatever the doubt, we're going to set the card for you guys tonight. And my God, what a day it's going to be. All right, so let's start off with SmackDown Live. And tonight, SmackDown Live, we were rolling in. We were hoping to have a good time in Memphis, Tennessee at the FedEx Forum. It off with a promo segment, which in turn led into one of the big fights that was highly promoted, a triple threat tag team fight. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 13 minutes, 15 seconds, Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke wins the match. But more importantly, Lacey Evans got the pin on Sasha Banks. All right. So, this is a big win for Lacey Evans. This now firmly confirms her as possibly the number one contender for Bayley and the SmackDown Women's title. And for the second week in a row, actually, no, wait, I stand corrected. It was Dana Brooke that got the win. Senton Bomb, she basically did a senton bomb on Sasha Banks. So, no, actually, I stand corrected. This is a big win for Lacey Evans. I mean, for Dana Brooke. Brooke gets a big win tonight. First win on SmackDown in a long time, I believe that is. So, good for her. Good for Dana. Dana Brooke gets the victory. Good for her. Lacey continues her role and possibly her date with a title shot. I could call this maybe de facto fight of the night, unfortunately, because I don't think there was really much on this show tonight that makes us say, wow, but pretty good start to the show. At least in this part, this was a good start. So I could give this about 2.5, 3 stars. Anthony, it's yours.
Yes, indeed, MF. As far as what's going on with Bullock, I mean, like I said in our chat, I want to let you all know what's going on with him. I messaged him earlier this afternoon, and I asked him what his status was for tonight, and he said that he would be on our SmackDown chat and on this show tonight. But when SmackDown, when it came showtime, he surprisingly didn't show. I don't know what happened. Maybe a surprise commitment at the last second came up. Maybe, I don't know, but hopefully we'll have him tonight. If not, then hopefully we'll have him back with us Monday night for Ridiculously Raw. But that's neither here nor there. But for right now, getting into this, I agree with MF's rating for the most part, 2.5 to 3 stars. Parts of it were decent, but there were a lot of clunky spots throughout. Glad to see Dana Brooke continue to get some solid exposure, even if she is rough around the edges. My only nitpick is Lacey Evans. She continues to need to work on her babyface persona. I don't think the handkerchief gimmick is really a babyface thing to do. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross didn't really seem to belong in this match, but for their limited in-ring time, they made it interesting. So that's all I can say on that. So definitely some interesting developments within the SmackDown Women's Division with this match here tonight. I don't know who will be Bayley's next challenger. My guess is Lacey, but then again, I don't know what the plan is. So we'll just have to wait and see for right now. So that's all. I'll give this about 2.5 to 3 stars. So really nothing more to say. Let's give it to our resident women's wrestling expert, Dee Woodson.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. They definitely gave the time, plenty of time to build the match, and it was a pretty good match. There's some clunky parts in it, and I do agree on the handkerchief with Lacey that that does not seem much of a face type issue or a face thing that you would want to see happen. But then again, Bayley still needs to work on her heel persona as well, because it looks like it's being forced the way she does it. So where it looks a little more natural with Sasha, but it is what it is. Bliss and Cross did look a little out of place in the match, but having them in there, they kind of help make everybody look good. So I don't have anything negative to say about it. I'll agree with the rating, and we'll just move on.
All right, we had a whole bunch of filler after that, so I'm not even gonna attempt it. A lot of campy comedy stuff. Then we had Chad Gable versus Dash Wilder from the Revival, and Chad Gable won the match. All right, it was 2 minutes 50 seconds. This is obviously a cutout. We're not gonna talk about this, but there was something that happened after. And that was, there was an attack. Basically, Revival attacked Chad Gable. And then Sheamus showed up. That's right. Sheamus is back. And better than ever. So, he basically gets in the ring. Revival shoves Chad Gable into Sheamus. So Sheamus walks right by him, and they leave the ring. So then Sheamus turns around and kaboom! Bro kick on Chad Gable and turned him inside out, took his head off, decapitated him. Good grief! What a hit! Anthony, remember how you said, did you see that? Did you feel that? That is what happened here tonight. Good Lord.
As you would say, MF, I would say, did you hear that? And then you would say, did you feel that? My God. That was the running gag we used to do back when we were having those Raw, SmackDown, what have you chats back in the day. But all right. Now, as far as the match was concerned, it was a quick match that was good for what it was. Solid 2 stars for that effort. I'm not surprising that they'd give Wilder the quick loss, given the track the Revival had been on as of late. It's a little surprising that they chose this moment to bring Sheamus in and show up the Revival's post-match attack. Sheamus looked good, sporting his old look, and seeming to be in excellent shape. He had a full head of hair, a full beard, and his old trunks. So that's all there is to say about that. But he still has that theme song that he had been using from 2015 on.
I like it. I prefer that better.
Yep, I do too. But I was kind of surprised they didn't go back to his old theme song, considering that he's gone back to his old look. I'm just saying. But I agree with you, MF. I like his new theme song 10 times better, even though I always got a kick out of that lobster head part of the song. That was my favorite. But when we heard the music, I mean, we both did our Corey and Sean, and then you would yell out your what, and then you would say, "Oh my God, he's back!" And then you would yell out, and then I remember back in the old days, you used to refer to him by his full name. You used to call him Sheamus O'Shaughnessy, did you not?
I did a couple of times. Yeah, I did.
I kind of had you doing that tonight. I don't know why, but it crossed my mind. I had you saying Sheamus O'Shaughnessy. And I'm like, oh boy. And then that's it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing they're bringing him back as a heel, which I think better suits him. I mean, he did have that one time babyface run was halfway decent. When he won the World Heavyweight Championship, years ago. But I think now as a monster badass heel, I think that does better for him. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it could lead to a Universal run. I don't know, down the road. I don't know. We'll see. But for right now, I'm going to give it a solid 2 stars for the match. But Sheamus, though, looking good. So now that he's back, MF, the SmackDown locker room has just put on major notice.
Oh, yeah.
So nothing more to say on that. Didi, what's in your thoughts?
Yeah, it's good to see him back. I thought more that he would be back more closer to Royal Rumble, or actually on Royal Rumble instead of like this. I mean, this kind of it just didn't seem as big as what you would expect for his return. But it is what it is. Still, he did look a lot better than he has in quite a while. Yeah, he's definitely going for the heel persona on this. So yeah, short match, not much else to say on it. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right. So the next thing we had a match. Kofi Kingston 1-on-1 against The Miz. Now this kind of started earlier in the night. And really The Miz, kind of stiffed Biggie and Kofi a little bit there. So, they wanted it a match, so they got it. And Kofi won the match in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. After the match was over, The Miz apparently has turned heel and attacked Kofi and Big E. Big E tried to make the save, but it was already too late. And then, the fans got on The Miz, and The Miz basically just said, after everything I've been through, well, Miz, you did kind of poke the bear by going after one of the most popular guys on SmackDown today, former WWE champion Kofi Kingston. Now, don't get me wrong. What The Fiend has done to you and to your family, not cool. But 2 wrongs don't make a right there, brother. Just saying. Didi Woodson, do you want to give a quick thought about it?
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's possibly doing a heel turn. It seems like everybody that the Fiends had their hands on has changed in some way. Most of them have been heel turns, but Daniels kind of went the opposite direction, where we went from kind of the heel to the face. So yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, The Miz did kind of provoke for this to happen. So, really short match. So I'm not going to really give it a rating, but it was definitely solid though. So it's yours.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was a solid fight. I could give this about maybe a couple of stars. I mean, it was short for what it was. Short fight, nothing too amazing, but the right guy won. I like the fact that they're going to turn Miz a heel, even though I thought he had a great program with Bray Wyatt. Not The Fiend, but Bray Wyatt of the Firefly Funhouse. I thought that rivalry was so good. I mean, it was the best worked rivalry going into a WWE match. Even though the belt was not on the line, the storyline was so good, and they exploded it within 2 weeks. That's how good this thing was. It took 2 weeks for them to prepare this rivalry, and it was by God, one of the best setups going into a fight. Now they turn them heel. Well, I guess we'll wait and see what happens, but I really got nothing more to say. So, Anthony, I give it to you.
Yeah. It was a fun match while it lasted. Another 2 stars. These two have always had pretty decent chemistry. Miz's apparent heel turn is coming at the right time, as it feels like his character has kind of hit a brick wall as of late. He needs something new. This new twist on his heel persona should give him plenty to work with going forward, though it will be interesting to see if and how they incorporate him into the Fiend's world again. So that's really all there is to say on that. And, something very interesting happened in a backstage after this. Another big time surprise return, and someone who Miz knows very, very well.
Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we bask in the light, flip our hair, put the fan on, pyro in the back. It's Shaman of Sexy time. That's right. My boy, John Morrison, he's back, and he is on Smackdown Live. We got him, boys. We got him. We needed him. Dude, the locker room is gonna be lit now. Miz and Morrison reuniting. Maybe a fight with the New Day? Shut up and take my money, guys. That's that kind of moment here. Morrison and Miz working together. The A-listers have reunited. And now they're going to go after the New Day. This can work. I like this. This could be a really good storyline if booked properly. And on top of that, if Miz and Morrison works as a tag team again, dude, what a shot in the arm to the tag team division. Anthony, just give me a quick thought. I mean, this has the makings of all kinds of awesomeness and a much needed shot in the arm to SmackDown Live.
And that tag team division, considering what's been going on with the Revival, I mean, that's horrible. Revival deserve far better. But an even more interesting development, Morrison and Miz were a great tag team, and this would be a great role for both of them to slide into at this stage of their respective careers. Maybe one last tag team title run. I could possibly see that. Maybe we see these 4 go at it on a future SmackDown, or maybe even at the Royal Rumble.
I think Rumble, yeah.
That would really get it over.
And not only that, but think about this. John Morrison now could be eligible for the Royal Rumble. And we talk about Kofi Kingston and his aerial acrobatics and unbelievable ways of saving himself out from not getting eliminated in the Royal Rumble. Morrison's had a few highlight reel saves in his career in the Royal Rumble match.
Oh goodness, yes. I mean the infamous when he did that little Spider-Man thing on the barricade. I believe that was in 2011 in Boston.
Yep.
And that was Morrison. Kofi, I mean, for the last several years has given us a highlight reel moment, whether it was, walking on his hands or the infamous using JBL's chair as a pogo stick, for goodness sakes. I mean, you name it, he's done it. And then tightrope walking the barricade himself. I mean, those are just some of the great memories of Kofi.
Got saved by the New Day a couple of times, where he got on the back of Big E on one, or probably the most funniest one, where Kofi gets launched right into the rosebuds of Adam Rose. Adam Rose's rosebud saved him, and then did once around the ring with them.
Yeah, took a lap around the ring. And have you seen what Adam Rose looks like nowadays?
Yes. Yes, I do.
That's not the same guy, folks. Let me just tell you that right.
Oh no,
not the same guy. All I can say is that's the last person you want to ever mess with. Let me just tell you that right now. So, based on how he looks nowadays. But anyways, Morrison and Miz against the New Day. Oh my goodness, MF. That's a tag team. That's a tag team title dream match right there.
It would. Absolutely.
I'd love to see it. So that would indeed be a shut up and take my money moment. Absolutely. So I'll give it a solid 2 for the effort. So for the match. But yeah, I agree with you about Miz. Miz had that that decent program with the Wyatt, but I guess maybe they decided to move onward. So all right, WWE, here's your big chance here. Miz and Morrison, New Day, SmackDown Tag Team Championship. You do that at the Rumble. That's a dream match. So I want to see it. MF wants to see it. I know Didi wants to see it. I'm sure Bullock would if he were here. So that's all I can say. Give us that dream match. And if you do, it could be maybe the greatest SmackDown Tag Team Championship match of all time based on the bodies of work. Nothing more to say. Move on.
Didi, you want to give a quick thought?
It was nice to see him there. I had heard that he was supposed to be backstage. I didn't know, in what aspect he was going to be there. So it was kind of a nice surprise to see him come out of Miz's locker room. Now, the announcers have not confirmed that he's part of SmackDown yet, but I don't see any reason why he wouldn't stay with SmackDown since he's already just appeared. And yeah, it would be really awesome to see the two of them tag again against each other, and go for possibly the New Day's title. And getting in on the little bits you guys were doing on some of Kofi's things, I think once he jumped onto the tray that the pancakes was on that I think Xavier was holding.
Yes. And that was another saved elimination as well. I remember that too. Yes.
Yep. He's done quite a few, and John Morrison kind of started it, and then Kofi got into it, and then I think Naomi's done it on the women's side. So
Naomi, Casey Catanzaro had an iconic save last year, and I absolutely lost my mind when I saw that save. I couldn't believe she saved herself on that one. Very American Ninja Warrior-esque type save.
So yeah, he's kind of started a trend that now everybody is starting to get into on coming out of the Royal Rumble without touching the ground, and getting back into it in some way, shape, or form. And it's just awesome to watch them to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, it would be great if they could get these guys put together, get them into some sort of storyline, preferably right now since they've already started something with Miz and New Day. That would be a great way to start it right there. Now that they've got Morrison hanging out backstage. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say about it. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, so we're just going to move right along, guys. So we're going to go very quick. Not much on this one. It was Otis versus Drew Gulak. Otis wins the match. 2 minutes, 15 seconds. It was a glorified squash match for Otis, but, it was good because Otis is definitely getting over. Looking good with his win lately. There's a little bit of something going on. You got Mandy Rose, you got Otis, you got Dolph Ziggler, Sonya Deville. Looks like there's a lovers quarrel or something like that. It looks like Mandy and Sonya. It looks like Fire and Desire might be on the verge of a breakup. And with Mandy Rose and Otis together, I don't know. It's kind of a unique situation. Now you got Ziggler involved. I think there might be a mixed tag coming. Something tells me there's a mixed tag fight coming with Otis and Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler. I feel it. I don't know why. I'm sensing it. I'm feeling it. I don't think this is Royal Rumble. I think we gotta. If anybody thinks maybe Royal Rumble, this might be a pre-show fight. If it's Royal Rumble, this is a pre-show match. This does not deserve to be on the main card. Or you do this on the future SmackDown. But other than that, that's all I see this as. Nothing more than that. Next up we had was Braun Strowman versus Cesaro. Braun wins the match, 8 minutes and 25 seconds. I believe it goes to you, Anthony Florio. Braun wins. Come on. I don't need to be a championship committee moment, but all the signs are pointing to Strowman versus Nakamura at Rumble.
We said it last week. We'll say it again. Absolutely. Solid match here. 2.5 stars. Honestly, this is one of the few times I would have preferred a non-finish given the 3-on-1 odds for Cesaro. Even still, the post-match quick strike Kinshasa was a nice touch. This feud could be interesting going forward, though it feels like it's being set up for Strowman to just win the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship with relative ease. So that's really all I can say on that. But other than that, I mean, fine match. One of the better big man matches we've had in a while. So that's really all there is to say. And yes, MF, we talked about it on our show last week. Championship committee moment when Strowman pinned Nakamura in that 6-man match at the start of last week's show. So yeah, we're definitely getting that. There's no doubt about it. So I just hope it's not. I just hope they don't bury Nakamura. That's all I ask. I just hope that it's a competitive match. So that's all I ask. So that's all I can say here. 2.5 stars for the effort. So Didi, what's in your thoughts?
Yeah, about 2.5 stars. It was a pretty good match, but Braun's kind of getting stale. The character that they're building with him, and they need to change it up or something a little bit because even though he's winning, even though he looks like he's going to get a championship moment, it's just very repetitive. So we need to do something to kind of make it a little more interesting with him. But this is definitely a good match. So nothing else I have to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, it goes into the main event of the evening, and it was a tag team fight. King Corbin and Dolph Ziggler versus Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. The fight gets thrown out because, oh my God, did it get chaotic. All right, Daniel was going for the ender. It looked like he was going to try to end the fight, and Daniel was going to try to win it. All of a sudden, the lights went red. The Fiend showed up, and Daniel and the Fiend started to go at it. Well, once everything was over, the lights came back on, and the Fiend was nowhere to be seen. So Roman's checking on Daniel Bryan, making sure, oh man, are you all right? What the hell? What happened? Dolph Ziggler and King Corbin jumps Roman from behind, throws him into the ring, handcuffs him to the ring rope, and they got the cans of dog food. Uh-oh, we've seen this before. This is not going to end good. Oh no, it ended differently this time. Usos! That's right, the Usos are back! The Usos show up, and they chase off King Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler was able to free Roman Reigns from the handcuffs, and the Usos are back on SmackDown Live. I think the wrestling gods are smiling on Team Blue tonight, man, because now we're starting to get a lot of the talent back, and they're coming to our house. So we need the help. We've been begging for help. Dude, what a way to close it. What a way to jump off 2020 for Team Blue. Sheamus, Morrison, and now the Usos? Going Uso crazy! Oh, man. All right. The fight is an official NA because the fight get thrown out. It was a no contest. So by default, it's an NA. But Dee Woodson, wow, we have a lot to dissect on that one. Brian and Wyatt, the Corbin, Ziggler, and Roman, and now the Usos are back.
Yep. Who better to have your back than family?
Yes.
And that's basically what we got here. Everybody kept saying, nobody's got Roman's back or anything. He's got family there. The family's got his back. And that's notorious, especially with the Samoans. Samoans tend to stick together and take care of each other family-wise. And, we've seen it all through the lineage of, that particular family that the three of them belong to. So, yeah, I mean, it's very, that right there, that's very significant. And the match was going really, really good until, you've got everybody involved here, which caused the DQ. And, the first interference we had wasn't even exactly a physical interference. It was the Fiend laughing, which kind of distracted Brian a little bit. And then the next one was actually the lights going out and the Fiend doing the mandible claw, knocking him out. And, I think most of us was hoping that the dog food issue was actually over with, but no, we still have that. So we still have, the Corbin and Ziggler thing going on. So if they ever bring Rude back, I see possible lineup here for a 6-man tag. The Usos with Reigns versus Ziggler and Rude and Corbin. So, that would be a possibility there too. So, you never know what's going to happen, but this was definitely a very good storyline, progressive ending for SmackDown, and definitely a great way to have the first SmackDown of the year kick off. That's just the new decade looks really good if this is what we're going to be getting every week. So not much more I have to add. It's yours, Fletch.
It wasn't the most perfect show, but it was definitely a lot better than we've had in the last few weeks. Newsworthy, absolutely. Sheamus finally makes his return. John Morrison re-debuts in WWE. Now the Usos are back for the first time in ages. So, I mean, what a perfect time to get back and become what they are now. I mean, you can't really disagree with this. This is a great way to close the show and a spectacular way to start off for SmackDown. I mean, SmackDown for the new decade for 2020, that was a solid start. Yes, some of the matches weren't perfect, but I mean, it was good for what it was worth. There's really nothing more to add. So, yeah, with that said, let's just move right along. I really enjoyed it. Anthony Florio, the match is in NA, but the post fight, wow, that was really good.
Yes, but there is, I gotta be the man who tells it like it is. I gotta, throw in another Jesse and Bobby nitpick here. I dislike the way that they don't even bother announcing a disqualification or a no finish. They just presume no one cares and the match didn't matter enough to warrant an explanation. The bell never rang, and Graves said the match was still quote-unquote active even after the lights turned back on. But anyways, the match itself was a run-of-the-mill TV tag match. Bryan's brief offense on The Fiend was good to see, a la the Tope Suicida. And I like that his character shows no fear of Wyatt and is willing to throw himself at The Fiend at every opportunity. The Usos returning was a nice, welcome surprise, and I've always wondered what it might be like to pair them with Roman Reigns on a semi-regular basis, rather than just acknowledging their connection and occasionally teaming them when the situation called for it. That could wind up being what they're doing here. but time will tell. And I'm just glad we didn't get another dog food bath on the big dog there. Now, I've heard through some sources that I think they were considering this for maybe a future SmackDown or a future pay-per-view, where they would have Roman and Corbin in a match where the loser has to eat dog food. I pray to God that is not true. If that is true, good Lord, that's got dud written all over it. And that's all there is to say on that. So I hope that is not true. But with the Usos and Roman, Didi brought it up, that's that Anawahi family, that legendary Anawahi family, that is synonymous with professional wrestling, one of the greatest wrestling families in the history of the business. I mean, you've got Roman, you've got the Usos, you had The Rock, you had Yokozuna, and countless others, Nia Jax, and Naomi, and all that. So, and Tamina Snuka, just to name a few, part of that legendary lineage. And I remember they once referred to them as the Bloodline, and I would love to see the bloodline of the Usos and Roman. And hey, if when Bobby Roode eventually, when his suspension is eventually lifted, which I hope will be very soon, then we can get Roode back with Ziggler and Corbin, and we can have a 6-man with those three against Roman and the Usos. This moved to SmackDown way out of nowhere. Last time I checked, they were on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, MF, the wrestling gods were indeed smiling on you. I mean, excuse me, but I'll get more into this in my overall review. But for right now, yes, it was an NA, but man, oh man, the Usos back on SmackDown, I think that works best for them, because when they were on Raw, they did nothing. They were there for a cup of coffee, and that was it. So, MF, you better thank those wrestling gods for smiling on you, because your tag team division, oh my gosh, Miz and Morrison possibly back together. You already got the New Day. You got Heavy Machinery. Now with the Usos, your tag team division's, I mean, I'm not going to say it's far better, but I think you're on the way of surpassing Raw now. Good grief. So, nothing more to say. I think, did Didi already go?
She light it off.
Okay, so let's get into our overall review, and then we'll get into your highly anticipated Mikey's mindset.
All right. I'm gonna give this about 6 to 7 out of 10. It was a good show. It was solid. It was definitely a lot newsworthy than usual. So we'll get into that. But as far as like going beyond that, I don't think it was really, because there was a lot of short matches and there was a lot of filler along the way. So I'm not like too enthused about it. But I mean, as far as everything else goes, I mean, I think it was as good as you could have done, more than anything else. So I got really nothing more to say. Anthony, I'll give it to you. 6 to 7 is my rating for tonight's show.
That's about right, but I think it's more 6.5, to be honest with you. This felt like an improvement over the last couple of weeks, with 3 intriguing returns of the Usos, Sheamus, and John Morrison, and some solid development for Roman Reigns' WrestleMania path. Bryan's continuing program with The Fiend and The Miz's heel turn. Additionally, we got more out of Otis and Mandy, and a match between Lacey Evans and Sasha Banks set up for next week. SmackDown, I got to be honest, it's still a step behind Raw in terms of quality. I felt Raw had the better show this week, even with that ridiculous segment at the end. And there are still elements of the show that I personally would elect to change. But I'm so glad that I'm reviewing a show that was not dominated by several and multiple King Corbin segments. Praise God for that. But you got the Usos now. You got Sheamus. You got Morrison. I mean, SmackDown, MF. Let's be realistic. When it comes to WWE's big 3 shows, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, I hate to be brutally honest with you, but your show was far and away the worst, considering. And we all know NXT is the cut above the rest, and Raw is in the middle. But SmackDown was the one that really needed a shot in the arm. You didn't just get 1 shot in the arm, MF. You got 3. You got Sheamus back. You got the Usos. I don't know how that happened, considering they were just on Raw, but out of nowhere. And now you got Jomo, you got John Morrison back, the Shaman of Sexy, and he's going to turn Friday Night SmackDown once again into one of my favorite places, the Palace of Wisdom. So be forewarned. But yeah, with those three big returns, MF, those three big shots in the arm, especially with that tag team division, oh boy. Maybe I think those were the shots in the arm that SmackDown really needed after several weeks of very piss poor and lackluster shows. So a step in the right direction tonight, and now with those three shots in the arm there, maybe this is what SmackDown needs, and maybe finally we can make this Fox move actually feel worth it. At first it was, but then several weeks of shows. Oof. When we started this extension a few years ago, you remember, SmackDown dominated Raw for the most part. And then there was a time where Raw was dominating SmackDown, and then it was back to SmackDown dominating Raw, and now it's back to Raw being better than SmackDown. But hey, you got those big shots in the arm, MF. So
maybe that might change the balance of power a little bit. I don't know if it's gonna overtake it, but it's a step in the right direction.
Be encouraged.
Yes.
So you got encouraged three times tenfold. So. Big moment for you. I'm happy for you, MF. I'm happy to I'm glad that you got those big names. And now let's have SmackDown be that show. And hopefully all three shows can be fun and competitive shows. And after what we saw the other night from AEW, which was far and away their best Dynamite show since they started that in October, what a time to be alive. I think now we're going to finally get all that great action that we've been hoping for since this whole thing started. So 6.5 for me. Didi Woodson put a bow on it, and then we'll get into this highly anticipated Mikey's mindset.
Yeah, it was definitely about 6.5. It wasn't the best SmackDown, but it was a great reset. Great restart for the new decade and the new year with everything they had going on. The teasing with Bryan and Reigns, the Miz heel turn, the return of the Usos, Morrison, Sheamus. Everything was really good. It was very exciting, and definitely, they kept in the line of the storyline building. We got lead up for matches for next week. It was very, very, very good. We didn't have a whole bunch of Corbin, just like last Raw, we had a whole bunch of Lana. I'm glad we didn't have that. I'm glad this moved along. Actually moved along fairly quickly. I was kind of surprised when we got to the main event because it just seemed like it just flew by. So, yeah, definitely 6.5. Very good show for the first one of the year. So I have nothing else to say about it. So I will see you Monday night. Good night, guys.
All right. And here we go, guys. It's time. Wrestle Kingdom 14, like I said, is going down in just a few hours. So here we go. The official countdown. And here is the official fight card. We started off with an 8-man tag team fight. Jushin Thunder Liger, Fujiyama, the Great Sakai, and Tiger Mask. They're going up against Nico Sato, Otani, Tozawa, Tagachi, and Tagachi in an 8-man tag. Then we have another 8-man tag. Members of Los Iganables de Japón, Evil, Senada, Shago Takeshi, and Bushi versus members of Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki, Tagashi, Zack Sabre Jr., and El Desperado. Then we have in another 8-man tag team match, Chaos, as it's Gato, Ashii, Yano, and Yoshihashi goes up against members of the Bullet Club, Kenta, the Tokyo Pimp, Yuguro Takahashi, Chase Owens, and Bad Luck Fale. That means watch out, ring announcers. Please do not get beaten up tonight. You might. Because I don't know what it is. Bad Luck Fale and ring announcers with New Japan Pro Wrestling, they just don't get along. Anthony, you know I talk about that because you probably watch it on Access TV. And there's been a few times where Bad Luck Fale has messed up the ring announcer. Either give him a punch, shoved him down, or even kicked him.
Falaba?
No, Bad Luck Fale.
Oh, who is that? I don't know who that is.
You never seen Bad Luck Fale from New Japan?
Is he in TNA?
No, he's in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh, do they still have New Japan on Access?
They do. I think they usually air it on Saturday nights, I think.
Oh.
Let me yeah. I actually no. I read a dirt sheet recently, MF, saying that New Japan will no longer be airing in the United States. I don't know if that's true or not, but we got to look into that.
Oh, I did not know that. All right. Well, because they used to have it, but all right. So then we got an IWGP Tag Team Championship fight tonight. The Gorillas of Destiny, Tamataga and Tagaloa, and they go up against Juice Robinson and David Finlay. Then we have a Texas Death Match for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. It's Lance Archer putting the title on the line against Jon Moxley. Yes, that Jon Moxley from AEW. Then we have Will Ospreay going one-on-one with Hujiro Takahashi, the ticking time bomb for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. The IWGP Intercontinental Heavyweight title on the line. Jay White of Bullet Club goes up against Tetsuya Naito of Los Ingobernables de Japón. And in the main event for night one, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship of the World on the line, as it will be the G1 Climax winner and #1 contender Kota Ibushi going one-on-one with the reigning, defending, undisputed IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the World, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. So that's night one. Night two, it will be this will be done tomorrow night, and it will be Jushin Thunder Liger and Sato going up against Ryu Lee and Hujiro Takahashi. This is gonna be the retirement match of Jushin Thunder Liger. One of the greatest careers in professional wrestling comes to an end tomorrow night, and this will be the first fight of the night. So you could already, dude, there's going to be a lot of tears, a lot of emotion. This is going to be an emotional goodbye for Jushin Thunder Liger, no doubt about it. But after that, then we do have a match, as it will be for the IWGP Junior Tag Team titles, as it will be Taiji Ishimori and El Fantasma representing the Bullet Club, as they go up against Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo with their leader. So Sho and Yo. Then we got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Sanada for the Pro Wrestling Rev Pro Revolution Heavyweight Championship of the World, the British Heavyweight title on the line. And then we will have a match. The winner of Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley will have to put the IWGP United States title on the line against Juice Robinson. Then we got Kenta versus Gato for the IWGP Never Openweight title. Then after that, the loser of Okada Ibushi will go up against the loser of the Jay White Tetsuya Naito match. Then, one-on-one, Hiroshi Tanahashi goes one-on-one with Chris Jericho with the added caveat that if Tanahashi wins, he becomes the #1 contender and will get to fight for the All Elite Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. That's right. You heard me right. If Tanahashi wins, he gets a world title match against Jericho. Tanahashi gets to come to the United States and will get to fight against Jericho in AEW. Anthony, how huge would this fight be if Tanahashi, the ace, gets to come to America and fight against Jericho for the AEW world title?
How would they do it? Would it be on an AEW pay-per-view? Would it be on a Dynamite show? If you do that on a Dynamite show,
oh my God,
head to head with NXT, there goes the ratings. There goes the ratings. People are gonna say, screw NXT. We're going to AEW because who would not want to miss the opportunity to see Hiroshi Tanahashi, one of the biggest names in New Japan? Now, I'll admit it. I don't follow New Japan as much as you do, MF. I know you are our port authority on it, but well, you and Derek Ferreira, of course. But honest to goodness, man, I mean, that would be humongous. I mean,
you've seen Tanahashi. I know you have seen him on more than one occasion, so I know.
On Access Television, and unfortunately, I found that dirt sheet. Unfortunately, it is true. If you watched Wrestle Kingdom on Access TV, last January, and we're hoping to do so this year, you're out of luck. They revealed through a tweet in response to U.S. fan queries, there are currently no plans for TV broadcast of New Japan events in 2020, and I hate to say it, including Wrestle Kingdom 14 in the United States. However, Wrestle Kingdom 14 will be available to watch outside of Japan on the New Japan World Streaming Service, which I know, MF, you have a subscription to that, I'm sure.
Not officially, but I am interested. Yes.
Okay, a monthly subscription, about $9.
Yep.
Or as a pay-per-view on Fight TV with both events, $25 each.
Yes.
So unfortunately, they will no longer be on Access TV. Which is a damn shame because they had a great Saturday Night Wrestling block with the New Japan and the WOW, the Women of Wrestling. So, but and it came after Anthem Sports and Entertainment, which owns Impact Wrestling, bought a majority stake in Access in September, and they got Impact Wrestling. And in October, also saw New Japan announce the creation of the U.S.-based subsidiary called New Japan Pro Wrestling of America as part of its international expansion. And at the time, the promotion made it sound like it was going to continue to work with Access, but now it looks like its presence in the U.S. will be maintained without a TV show, but through live events, New Japan World subscriptions, and the occasional Fight pay-per-view. So I just wanted to address that elephant in the room. So if you want to see the Wrestle Kingdom, either do it through the World subscription for $9 or on Fight TV. Both shows $25 a piece.
All right. And then, Anthony, the main event is what they call the Double Gold Dash.
Title for title match?
It is literally title for title.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. What is it?
The winner of the Ibushi and Okada versus the winner of the Jay White versus Tetsuya Naito matches. They will fight one-on-one, title for title. Winner takes everything.
So that's the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and what's the other belt?
The IWGP Intercontinental title.
That's literally the ultimate challenge.
Yes.
New Japan style. The
yes.
World Heavyweight Championship, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, like Hogan and Warrior did 30 years ago.
Yes. And the winner of this gets both belts.
Oh.
This is like, it's just like what happened with last year's WrestleMania when there was the women, where it was Ronda versus Becky versus Charlotte.
Raw and SmackDown women's titles, yeah.
Both, whoever won that fight got both belts. It didn't matter how it was ended. The winner got both titles.
And that was Becky.
This is the same thing. Just like you said with Warrior and Hogan, title for title, winner take all. And this is also historic because the winner of this fight will be the first person ever to pull this off. This has never happened in New Japan.
Whoa.
Never. Tomorrow night will literally be history making. Somebody is going to become immortal tomorrow night. Because tomorrow night, either Naito, Jay White, Ibushi, or Okada is going to have 2 world titles in their possession at the exact same time.
Wow.
It don't get no bigger than this. Tonight and tomorrow will revolutionize wrestling as we know it. The biggest wrestling event of the year, Wrestle Kingdom. We are literally 2.5 hours away, 3.5 hours away from Wrestle Kingdom kicking off from the Dome in Tokyo.
2 a.m., right?
It's a 2 a.m. start time.
2.5 hours.
Yeah. So at 2 a.m., this thing jumps off. And ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Nothing more to say. That's it. We're done for tonight. On Monday, Anthony, what do we got for Ridiculously Raw?
Well, for Ridiculously Raw on Monday Night MF, we will be reviewing the first Monday Night Raw of 2020. We got some big stuff coming up on our side. We got the return of the WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. Perhaps we'll find out what his Royal Rumble plans are on that night, very possibly. Triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. The Viking Raiders defending against Gallows and Anderson and the Street Profits. And then Andrade to defend the United States Heavyweight Championship against the man he took it from in Madison Square Garden at that house show, the former champion and challenger, Rey Mysterio. We'll get into all that on Monday night. And, of course, the Tony's Take will be back, but it will only be 205 Live. 205 Live did return tonight, thank goodness. So we'll address that. And I will also give you the final card and rundown for the Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill pay-per-view. You already know what the headliner is for that one. Here's a history-making match of our own. Man versus woman for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. Sami Callihan defending against Tessa Blanchard. Can Tessa do it? Can she become only the second woman to win the recognized men's World Heavyweight Championship, joining Sexy Star when she won the Lucha Underground Heavyweight Championship as part of that Aztec Warfare a few years ago? Only time will tell. So, but there are other things to get into on that card. It's not all about that, but that is the headliner. So we'll get into all that on Monday night, and then Wednesday Night Mayhem's back. MF. We'll get into NXT and AEW, and then of course Thursday our big football show, divisional playoff act. We're gonna cover the divisional playoff games, and in our main event, it will be all about the college football playoff national championship. Number 3 Clemson, number 1 LSU, in the Dome in New Orleans. Oh my, that's got potential. And then right back here next week, Cerebral Smack Talk. So, MF, in closing, the only thing I'd like to say is what a time to be a fan of sports and wrestling in general.
All right. Thank you so much, Anthony Floyo. Thank you guys for watching tonight. Like I said, we don't know how we're going to do this, how we're going to recap it, but I'll try to figure out a way to try to get Wrestle Kingdom somewhere in the show next week. But so we're just gonna head on out. So have a good night, everybody, and so long for now. Bye bye.